Into the Woods, the fairy tale musical feature-length film by Disney. Unlike American Sniper, I honestly had no idea what to expect when going into this movie, and what I found was actually a very charming and, at times, quite funny and interesting movie. That's of course when it's not being irritating, questionably dark, and disappointing with some of its casting choices, and how it treats those actors. Now, let's get the good out of the way for this. Into the Woods actually has a very good premise. It's got 4 fairy tales, like, say, Jack and the Beanstalk, Cinderella, Rapunzel, and Red Riding Hood, all happening at once, with characters meeting up with each other at different sections of their own stories, and all of it revolving around the one central area that is the woods. As for the cast, they all do their jobs well, but it's glaringly obvious a lot of them are Americans trying to put on British accents, and then there are the ones like the actress playing Cinderella who don't even try to put on a British accent and just feel inconsistent. Meryl Streep actually does a really good job in this movie, playing the Witch of the Woods. While for the most part, when she's playing the witch, she's actually just being Meryl Streep playing Meryl Streep, she's actually playing an actually interesting and intriguing character that, honestly, I want to learn more about. But as for the actual singing, because this is a musical, it has its moments, but overall, it can actually be quite annoying, since unlike in other musicals like Sweeney Todd, there aren't any lull moments where the scene just stops and characters just speak normally. Instead, it's almost always singing and singing and singing, and it can actually get quite annoying at times, especially with the actor playing Jack. I know he's a child actor, but his Oliver Twist-inspired voice is just annoying. And Meryl Streep, okay, forget about Mamma Mia, she can sing, it's just a shame her singing's not that great. But surprisingly, Johnny Depp steals the show in this. Unfortunately, he's criminally underused, but his Big Bad Wolf character, who ends up being a very comically blatant metaphor for a child sex offender, is actually a joy to watch and is fun as all hell. It's just a shame he only gets one musical number and gets killed off during the first act. Really such a shame. And then of course there's actually the ending. Into the Woods does something clever and plays with expectations of fairy tale endings by having the narrator lead up to a big happy ending where everyone gets what they wanted, only for the wife of the giant from Jack and the Beanstalk to come down and seek revenge for the death of her husband. Sadly though, that's all there is to say that's good about the movie. As for what's wrong with it, well, for one thing, it's directed by Rob Marshall, the guy who directed Chicago. Ugh. Not only that, but the singing as a whole is really not as good as, say, Cinderella's. And as I said before, the musical numbers, because it's almost constant music, it can actually be quite annoying. And this is something I kind of appreciated, but at the same time made me really question the intent of the movie. Into the Woods actually pays tribute to the darker, truer origins of fairy tales. And I'm actually cool with that. Like, I'm cool with exposing kids to dark material. But here though, while it's not graphic, it makes me wonder whether or not it's really appropriate for a family audience. Especially since the narrator actually flat out states that Cinderella's stepsisters involuntarily have one of their toes and heels cut off, and then they get blinded by Cinderella's bird friends. And in one of the songs, the character flat out mentions rape. Possibly the worst thing is the ending. I mean, when the ending comes along, we are actually expecting an ending to happen, but the build-up for it is so gradual and slow that when it does come, it comes literally out of nowhere, and it's like the ending to 50 Shades of Grey, where it just suddenly ends, and you're left going, what the fuck, where's the rest of it? At the end of the day, Into the Woods is a borderline artistically misguided family film that will entertain some people, but will just bore others.